amazingly, in the 30s, 31, 32, 33, I think Prokofiev was performed in the West, sometimes very successfully. But his intuition told him that if he goes back to Soviet Union, his music will be played by the best orchestras, conducted by the best conductors, staged by the best opera and ballet companies in the country. And they were good. Best in a country doesn't mean best in the world. In that case, they were very, very, very good. The voices in Bolshoi or Mariinsky, it was not called Mariinsky because it was renamed, and then again it was renamed to the Kirov, then we renamed it back to Mariinsky. But they were fantastic voices. They were fantastic productions. That means they were fantastic designers, fantastic directors, stage directors, costume designers. And Prokofiev, visiting and revisiting, going back, discovered that although there is a big change in Moscow or in St. Petersburg, then it was already called Leningrad, the basic power of the theatrical institutions, of symphonic groups, of the groups of singers or dancers, choreographers, was very, very impressive. And this is what brought him back to Soviet Union. This is my opinion. I think he couldn't possibly live without being a man who is always in the center of the attention of many, many of those colleagues he had, also in the West, of course. I think in Soviet Union they somehow were able to embrace him with the quality they would give to performances of his works. Prokofiev's private life is very much influenced by music in his mind, in his system. It's a world, one-man world of music. There are always ideas. Even wife, supposed to be such a close person, or later his children. By the way, fantastic. I was particularly close to Oleg. Unfortunately, he died in 1997. We spent not enough time together. He was absolutely not an old man. And we spoke about his father quite a lot. Also about the fact why he decided to come back to Soviet Union. But there were fantastic days in his life, of course, due to the fact that he had first son or second son born, and the Spanish-Russian family was seen as maybe one of the most incredible stories. If you look around, they were successful, brilliant, good-looking, very gifted, with a fantastic future, and nobody was then feeling that, oh, it's impossible to go back to Russia, because in 1927 he could easily go there and be performed and bring his new opera, and especially Love of Oranges was seen as an incredible, successful composition with incredible productions which they were putting for him there, both in Leningrad and Moscow. But what I want to say is the first marriage and then second marriage were very much part of his desire and very much part of his, I would say, very forceful journey, relentlessly to compose, open the world, discover the world, find a story, find with who this new thing can be done. Prokofiev just was moving, and at some point, I believe, again, it's only my opinion, because at some point he felt that his feeling for continued journey, find something else, change your language, find new story, was not understood and supported so much by Lina, his first wife. Tragically, she was then imprisoned and concentrated in a camp, tragically, for 20 years. It was a very, very tragic outcome. It happened during the work Prokofiev was starting for composition of Semyon Kotko, and he was very much tuned into talking about a text, a libretto, a story, to make it into a fantastic opera libretto. And it happened that this young girl, Mira, was a very good and maybe very interesting person to discuss things with her. Maybe his first wife was becoming too intervening into the life of great musician, great artist, also very distinguished man, maybe also a man who was aware of the fact that every minute of his life is precious. And maybe he was too often disturbed, maybe too often taken into a less balanced feeling, when you have to always focus and then lose your focus. This is maybe what crucially played such a big role in his divorce and finding another woman.